Hello everyone, my name is Shuri Singh. I have been born and brought up in Jamshedpur. Talking about my educational qualifications, I have completed my Masters in Life Science Zoology, done the specialization on ichthyology. I'm a gold medalist. Along with this, completed my BEd and also CTET qualified. What inspired me to be a teacher is actually my teachers. When I used to see them teaching, I always thought like I could also be a teacher and impart the knowledge that they have imparted in me.
The topic of discussion, the circulatory system. As the name suggests, the organ system in our body that is responsible for the transport of the food, nutrients, vitamins, enzymes, toxins and other associated components through the body fluid, which consists of blood, lymph, plasma, forms the circulatory system. Well, every organism had got its own unique circulatory system, but today, to be more precise and specific, we will be dealing with the human circulatory system. Well, when we are talking about human circulatory system, the very first organ that comes in our mind is the heart, the principal and vital organ which plays the role of circulation in our body. Well, the heart is situated right between the center of the two lungs, just above the diaphragm. It is about 12 cm in length and 8 cm in breadth, covered by the double-walled membranes which are called as the pericardial membranes. Now, this pericardial membranes is having a pericardial fluid in it which prevents the heart from any sort of mechanical injuries, and also it reduces the friction during the process of heartbeat. So this is the structure of the heart. Now, digging into further knowledgeable parts, we will be discussing that our heart is four-chambered in structure. The two upper chambers and the lower chamber. The upper chambers are called as atria, whereas the lower chambers are called as the ventricles. These two arteries are separated from each other by the articular septum, and these two lower ventricles are separated from each other by the ventricular septum. The walls of the arteries are thinner compared to the walls of the ventricles, which are a bit thicker compared to the arteries. The major functions of these arteries is to receive the blood from the various parts of the body and pump it to the next ventricle. Now, this is about the chambers of our heart. Now we will be discussing about the blood vessels, categorization of the blood vessels, which finds their way to our heart. As seen in the diagram, we can see this right atrium receives two large blood vessels which are called as anterior vena cava and posterior vena cava. Well, as the name suggests, there is nothing broad to discuss on it. The function of the anterior vena cava is to receive the blood from the anterior part of the body or the upper part of the body, which includes head, chest, arms. Okay, and the posterior vena cava, which function is to receive the blood from the lower parts of the body, which includes the abdomen and the legs. Now, the left atrium receives four pulmonary veins, which receives the blood from the deoxygenated blood from the lungs for the purpose of oxygenation. Now we will be reading about the pulmonary artery, which is arising from the right ventricle, which carries the deoxygenated blood to the lungs for the process of oxygenation. Now we find the aorta, which is arising from the left ventricle, carrying the oxygenated blood to the various parts of the body. So this was about the two ventricles. Now every different organ, including the heart itself, requires the blood for its proper functioning. So question is that, from where does this get the blood? Well, this gets the blood from the coronary arteries that arises from the aorta of the left ventricle. Okay, now further we can compare this entire process of circulation with the circulation of urban water system, where the flow of water should be must and specific. Similarly, in this circulation process in this heart, the flow should be properly maintained, and it is unidirectional in nature, maintained by the four different types of the valves. Now we will be discussing about this four different type of the valves. The very first is the right anteroventricular valve, which is having tricuspid valves arising from the papillary muscles of the ventricular walls, and they are held in position for the purpose of unidirectional flow by the chordae tendineae. Okay, next we will be discussing about the left atrioventricular. Next we will be discussing about the left anteventricular valve. Now this function, it has two cuts. This is known as bicuspid valve, or we can also call it as the mitral valve. This was about the two different right atrioventricular valve and the left atrioventricular valve. Now we will be discussing about the crescent shaped valves that we can see in this diagram, which is also called as the semilunar valves, that origin at the point of the, whose one position is located at the point of origin of the aorta from the left ventricle, and the other is located at the opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery. So this was all about the structure of the heart, the different blood vessels, their roles, their functions, and how they entirely regulate the circulatory system. So this was for today. We will wind up with this only. In the next very opportunity, we will be discussing about the cardiac cycle and its initiation by the pacemaker. Till then,